Another edition of First Person this week on Press Pros, brought to you by the Ruin Camp Farm Drainage Company in Fort Loramie, Ohio. 80 years of experience with farm, residential, and commercial. Phil Barhorst and company will make water work for you. If you got an issue, call them. They'll take care of it. Our guest this week from Ohio State University needs very little introduction to people in area baseball in Mercer and Buckeyes County. Dare I say the MAC, because Adam Niemeyer, of course, the three-sport star at Minster High School for Mike Wiss and Mike Lee, and the football coach there, and I don't even know who the new football coach is. You probably do. Our guest this week from Ohio State University, freshman pitcher with the Buckeyes. I'm going to go back and jog your memory a little bit by saying that you were one of the very first-person interviews that we had in the spring of 2011, when you were ultimately would go on to win a state title that year with the Minster Wildcats. So it's great to have you back.
Yeah, good to be back.
I think a lot of people know your story, particularly back home, given we're going to talk about your elbow injury here in just a second. But I do want to, first of all, ask you how the experiences of coming from Minster to Ohio State, from a state champion high school program to one of the top Division I programs in the state in the Midwest, what that experience has been like for you this year.
Yeah, it's been a good experience. I was lucky. I was very fortunate to have good high school coaches that prepared me.
You better say that.
Yeah, very good high school coaches. I was in a good program, and I played three sports, which kind of prepared me for all the situations that happen here, you know, with all the fans. We had a lot of fans at our football, basketball games, so I'm kind of used to playing in front of a lot of people. And I'm fortunate to be very prepared to be where I am today.
The freshman year of anybody who comes to college, and I remember this from 40 some odd years ago, it's a lot different now, but there is an adjustment that you have to make. It's not exactly high schoolish. I don't want to demean that particular terminology, but there is a responsibility when you come here and play, because jobs are on the line, records are on the line, a lot is on the line. And at some point, you have to come under that realization that I've got to come out here and be my best every day.
Yeah, for sure. Playing for Buckeye Nation is pretty special. You know, there's a lot of people that come to our games, just people that went to Ohio State in the past, that alumni that still support us, still fund us, donate money, and they're all counting on us to be successful as a team and as individuals too. So there is more pressure, that's for sure, but like I said earlier, Midwest sports is pretty special, so I'm used to the
Midwest Athletic Conference sports, especially because I dare say there's few places in the high school sports in Ohio that is a better preparatory ground. Let's get to the point of your injury, and something that I'm sure a lot of people are going to want to know. It's no secret back home in Mercer and Buckeyes County that you had an elbow injury here. Recently went through Tommy John surgery. Tell us a little bit about how that happened to you and what that's been like for you.
Yeah, well, I was pitching early in the year. We were out in Oregon on a trip, and I was pitching against Oregon. And the second last pitch I threw the game, actually, I threw a curveball, and I just felt a real sharp pain in my elbow, and I threw one more pitch, and that was the end of the game. So I pitched pretty well, and after the game I was disappointed. I remember going out and telling my parents that I think I just messed up my elbow, and I tried to pitch again the following week, and I pitched against Siena, and I was in a lot of pain, and a couple days later I got an MRI and found out my UCL, which was torn, which is the ulnar collateral ligament, and that's what requires Tommy John surgery. So I had Tommy John surgery about a month ago, but I'll be good to go for next year.
It is such a prevalent thing now, and not only major league, minor league, college, even high school pitchers are having this surgery and this procedure done. Adam, take a minute as best you can, because you had one of the best do it. I know you had the team doctor for the Cleveland Indians, is that right?
Yeah.
You did your surgery. Tell people what Tommy John surgery actually is.
Well, it's when a ligament in your elbow in here gets torn. It connects two bones in your elbow. Mm-hmm. So without it, your elbow is just really unstable. So they took a ligament out of my wrist. They cut it, they slid it open. Took a ligament out of my wrist and put it in my elbow to hold together those two bones. They kind of just figure-eighted it so the bones would be stable. It's kind of like a brand new, they described it as a rubber band almost, when it just keeps getting stretched and stretched and stretched, and one day it snaps, and then they kind of replace it with a fresh new rubber band.
And the good news is that a lot of guys, it is perfected science now.
Yeah.
It has been done so much, and a lot of people come back from it better, tighter, stronger, and more durable than they were prior to the surgery.
Yeah, the success rate is about 90%, and I heard that over a third of the pitchers in the major leagues right now have had Tommy John surgery in the past. So, like you said, it's a pretty common surgery, and you hear about a lot of guys going down with it in the major leagues right now. So, I'm confident that I'll come back just the way I was, if not better.
And you actually hear about people now say, why not just have it right out of the chute, get it over with before you get hurt, which is an extreme corollary, I guess, to draw. But the success rate, being as good as it is, has to make you feel pretty good about coming back, as you say, next year.
Yeah, I am pretty confident about that. And I work with our trainers here every day at Ohio State, doing rehab and stuff, and I lift with our strength coach, so I'm pretty confident I'll come back.
All right, our guest this week is Adam Niemeyer, the pride of Brian and Tanya back home in Minster, and I dare say Mike Wiss and a lot of that people connected with the Minster Wildcat program. Let's talk a little bit about something I think about a lot. You know, we mentioned this a moment ago about high school players who aspire to be where you are and are doing what you're doing today. What would you tell, what advice would you give those players about going to the next level and what the expectations are when you get to college baseball?
Yeah, it's a lot more strenuous, a lot more time consuming. We practice every single day for 2 or 3 hours, and we also lift 3 times a week. So it is very time consuming, but the biggest advice I would give for pitchers is just throw every single day. You got a long toss, strengthen your arm, and also just work on throwing strikes, throwing your fastball for strikes. That's the most important pitch, even at the college level. If you can locate your fastball on both sides of the plate, up and down, in and out, you'll be a successful pitcher.
We haven't talked about school, but it's a very important element of what you're doing here. You got to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning and go to class. Tell people what you're studying, what you want to do, what your career goals are.
I'm majoring in business right now, business undecided. I'm not sure what type of business, so...
you could be a lawyer.
I could. I'm actually thinking about that. Hopefully I can play baseball for a few years after high school or after college.
Yeah.
Who knows what will happen there. And then I'm thinking about going to law school as of now, but I'm not totally sure on that yet.
Anybody giving you any advice at home about that? By the way? Huh?
Yeah.
You have all the free legal advice you want?
Yeah, my dad knows a little bit about being an attorney, so he's giving me some
I'm
advice.
sure he really does. Adam, we wish you all the best. Thanks for taking the time with us today. Adam Niemeyer again from Minster High School, freshman pitcher here with the Ohio State Buckeyes, which wraps up this edition of First Person. Again, brought to you by the Ruin Camp Farm Drainage Company in Fort Laramie. 80 years of experience. As we like to say, Phil Barhorst will make water work for you. Our thanks again to the sponsors, for Adam for taking the time this week, and again to you who read us every day, who check in with First Person. Thanks for your support for high school sports and your being with us every week on PressProsMagazine.com. Until the next time, thanks again. See you then.